Hey friends, welcome to the channel. Today in this video we're going to solve the first problem of week 9 of CS50, which is birthdays. So to see the requirements, the very first thing that we will do is we'll come to this particular website, which is cs50.harvard.edu/x/2025/psets/9. And if you're watching this video in 26, make sure to change the year. Once you're here, birthdays is the problem that we're going to solve. Once you read the requirements, basically what you will recognize is we have to create this form, and then we have to connect our database to a particular website that is given to us. So once you know all the requirements, and I highly recommend that you watch this video by Brian, it will give you a good understanding of the problem that we are going to solve. So once you've done that, what we'll do is on the left we'll click on Visual Studio Code. You can command click or control click. That will open that website in a new tab, and then click on login with your GitHub account. And once you have logged in, this is the interface that you will see. If you've been following my playlist, you will know that we are keeping all the files organized. So let's create a new directory for week 9 because this is the first problem. So I'll say in the terminal, I'll say mkdir week 9, press enter, and that will create a new folder. I'll navigate into week 9 by saying cd change directory week 9 and then ls. So we don't have anything right now. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the description of the problem, and if you scroll down, getting started, you'll find a distribution code. So to get the distribution code, we will copy this particular line that is given to us, the command. We'll come back to our terminal window and make sure you are inside week 9. And then if you paste the command, you will get a new zip file inside the folder. So let's unzip that. I'll say unzip birthdays.zip, press enter, and that will give you a new folder called birthdays with certain files. So for now, I'll just get rid of birthdays.zip. I'll press enter, and it will ask, are you sure? Yes, I am. Okay, .zip is gone. We just have one directory, so I'll change into that directory, cd birthdays. I'll clear the screen, ls. Okay, so these are the files that we have. We have app.py, birthdays.db, which is a database, and then we have templates, which has a singular file called index.html, and then static, which has our styling, right? So I'll code app.py, press enter. So this is the file that is given to us, and similarly we have one other thing, which is index.html. For now we don't really need anything on the side. So if you come down, what you will recognize is there are two paths that we have to fill inside app.py, which is here to do add the user's entry into the database. And the second thing that we have to do inside app.py is we have to distribute the entries in the database on index.html. And if you go back to index.html, what you will see is this is the part we have to fulfill, right? So let's start at the end, which is to display the entries in the database on index.html, which basically means that we have a database that is given to us, birthdays.db, which is currently inside the variable called db. So what we will do is we will create a variable called rows, and the value that we will give to it is db.execute, and our code is going to be select asterisk from birthdays, which is basically our database, right? If you were to say flask run, it will give you a preview website, and if you go there, what you will see is this is the path that we have right now. But alongside this, if I were to create a new terminal by doing this, and if I were to, let's go inside our week 9 /birthdays ls, and here if I were to say sqlite SQLite3 and then birthdays.db, press enter, and if I were to say schema, this is the table that we have. It has ID and primary key, which is not important right now. What is important, however, is name, month, and day, right? So if we were to say select asterisk from birthdays, that would give us all the data that we have inside the database, right? And then what we will do is when we are returning render template index.html, we want to pass it something which is called, I will call it rows, and the value that I'll pass to it is also rows, right? I could call it anything else that I want, but rows seems the simplest. So I'll go back to index.html, and here what I will do is I'll come down and I will first display the data that is already in the database, right? So to do that, I will use Zynga, right? So I'll open a curly brace and I'll add 2% sign, and I'll say for every row in rows that is being given, what I want to do is I want to also close end for, right? And then what I want to do is inside t body I want to say table row, and inside this I want to say table data. So what you will see is the first table data should be the name, right? So what I'll do is I'll open the curly braces, 2 curly braces, which is basically going to be our placeholder, and I want to say row dot name, right? Similarly here I want to say row dot month, right? And then outside this I want to open another one and I want to say row dot day, right? And then if I were to save it and if I were to come back here and if I were to reload this, what you will see is this is the data that is already in the database, right? So everything looks good. We have done one part of it, right? So we'll come back, and then the next thing that we have to do is we have to create a form, and the form has to look something like this. It has to have name, month and day, right? So what we will do is we'll create a form, and then for action we will for now say nothing, and then method that we want to use is post. Why post? Because we don't really want the URL to update, right? We don't want the URL to update and to have the data to just maintain some privacy, because birthdays is a private kind of data. Okay, so inside the form I want to create multiple input boxes. One is for name, second is for month, and the third one is for date, right? So I'll say input type is going to be text, and then once type is done I want to say autofocus, because I want for it to remain autofocused, and then auto suggest or autocomplete, actually autocomplete equals off. And then what I want to do is I want to give it a name, and the name is going to be name itself, and then I want to say placeholder and I want to call it name, and this is done. If I save it, if I come back to our preview, if I reload this, there we go, we have a name input box, right? And then I just want to copy it twice. I want to remove the autofocus because I want for it to focus in only one place, and for the name I want to say month, and for here I want to say day, right? And again I want to change the placeholders also. I want to call it month, and similarly here I want to call it day. If I save it, if I come back here, reload it, we have 3 boxes. Wonderful. The final thing that I want to do is I want to add a button, right? Button, I want the type to be of submit, and then I'll close this, I'll call it submit also. If I reload this, we have a submit button. Wonderful, right? Okay, finally let's go back to our app.py and let's complete the important part here. Basically, when I input a certain data, let's say if I were to say my name, month is 0923, press enter, right now nothing happens, right? But what I want to happen is once the user submits the data, I want for it to come here, right? And how will it come here? It has to be added to the database that is given to us, right? So I'll come here and I'll say, first of all, let me get the name, and I will get that by doing request. Let's make sure we already have request here. Yes, we do. That is already imported in the distribution code. Request.form.get. We use form for post requests, that we know, and the name of the input box is name, right? So we will use the name that we gave here. So name, month and day. And then similarly I want to copy it, I want to call it month, and here I want to call it day. And similarly with the variables, I want to call it month, and here I want to call it day. And once we have that, we are getting access to the variables that is given by the user. And then I want to add a comment, and I'll say add the form data to the database. So I'll press enter and I'll say db.execute, and our code is going to be insert into birthdays. And what do I want to insert? I want to insert name, month and day, which are the variables that are used in the database, values, and the values I want to be question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark, right? And then here I want to add a double quotes again, I want to close it, and then I want to say what variables do I want to use in these placeholders. I want to use name, month and day, right? This should hopefully get the work done. So to check, I will just come back here and let's go back to the website that we had. I'll reload it, no errors, which is nice. So I'll test it now. I'll say Suraj, month is 09 and day is 23, press enter, and there we go, it is working. If we wanted, we could also add some more lines of code to make sure that the user enters the data, which is basically name, month and day, and then we could also make sure that the name is a string and the month is a number, and so is the day a number. If you want to read more about it, you could come back to the distribution code that is given to us, and then if you scroll down slightly more, add users form submission, blah blah blah. If you come here, you will see that all of the verification, or basically making sure that the data is wrong, is here. If you want, you could implement this, but it is not really necessary. So what I'll do is I'll come back here, I'll close this tab because everything seems to work, and I'll stop our server by saying Control-C. Let me clear the screen, and I will go back to our code and I will submit this. We don't really have a check 50 for this, so I'll come here, I'll paste the command and I'll press enter, and it will ask whether or not you're sure to submit it. Yes, I am. Press enter, and it will say here is where you can see your result. And if you go here, check 50 gave us 1/1 for logic, and style 50 gave us 0.97, which I'm not sure why, but anywho, it doesn't really matter. We have everything that we need, so that is wonderful. So this is how you complete the birthdays problem of week 9 of CS50. In the next video, I'm going to solve the finance problem, which has been requested a lot, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to solve all the other problem sets by watching my videos, click on the playlist that is currently being displayed on the screen. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.